Soundtrack is an often overlooked feature of any game. We always tend to focus on gameplay and graphics, but the soundtrack is equally as important if you want your game to be impactful, engaging, and most of all, memorable. And many games that you know do this really well, like for example, Resident Evil 1 Remake, which makes sure that no room is left unturned, with each section of the game from the mansion to the residence to the labs having its own distinct musical themes, which not only make the sections distinct from one another, but also adds to the narrative. As the more Joe and Chris venture deeper into the mansion, the darker the musical score becomes, as more of the truth about the mansion and its true purpose is being revealed to the player. RE4 OG also does this really well. For example, its haunting save theme evoking feelings of direness, of being trapped in a foreign land surrounded by a very interesting religious community with seemingly no way out except death. Contrast this with Serenity, which evokes the feelings of this swirly, dreamy-like chorus, bringing to mind warmth, comfort, and finally peace. Finally, a place to rest for now. If you were to ask me what is the most underrated, underappreciated game of all time, I'd say without a doubt, it's American McGee's Alice. McGee's darker twist on an old classic tale, that is Alice's bizarre adventure, is a run-and-gun game that draws parallels with Doom and Quake's overall level design, control scheme, and combat. I mean, where do I even begin? It's just beautifully hypnotic, but also incredibly sad from a story perspective. Just like Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 1 really gets this thing right, and its soundtrack itself already adds so much to the overall world building of the game. The music very much reflects the changed world of Wonderland, now being this apocalyptic, desolate world ruled over by the Queen of Hearts. From the portal which brings us to this place, to the final battle to end it all, the OST consistently keeps the player unsettled, on edge, and deeply engrossed in the story, as well as matching perfectly with the overall level design of the game itself. Village of the Doomed really sets in the mood of the game right from the very beginning, with the echoing of the ticking clocks, a motif of the White Rabbit's fog watch, and the brooding drone of the THX soundbite playing in the background, which truly accentuates how bleak Wonderland had become. The melodic chanting of the choir in the background of the song, from a Wonderland point of view, symbolizes the disembodied voices of Wonderland who had perished as a result of its changed state. But really, it could be interpreted as the sounds of the past, of the dark memories of the raging fires which engulfed her entire family and made her catatonic. Its mere presence signifies that it's now at the forefront and something Alice cannot run or avoid. She must face this inner turmoil, the inner demons of her subconscious. Fungiforous flora increases the uncomfortableness with sounds of marching feet trudging through the mud, making the player think there's more than one enemy, thousands perhaps, an army encroaching onto her location. This adds tension to the level and further adds to the world building of Wonderland. Time to Die, for example, casts motifs of nursery rhymes, wind-up music boxes, really innocent childhood memories that has taken a more sinister approach. It harkens back to the idea of childhood innocence, nostalgia really. However, this innocence, this nostalgia is misplaced. You can say it's becoming corrupted. It is corrupted, torn apart, especially considering Wonderland's darker atmosphere is in direct parallel with Alice's own dark place. This reflection of sadness and the sounds of a lost paradise is perfectly encapsulated in the Wonderland woods. The sound of breathing can be heard, almost labored, while the strings and cello dominate the track, accentuating the nostalgic feeling of the song. The xylophone, the sounds of the ticking clocks again, can be heard simmering in the background. The presence of the ticking clocks here represents Alice's wish to turn back time, to when the fire didn't break out, to when she had a family. Despite the dark themes that American has woven into his Alice games, it doesn't feel out of place, and actually feels to me like a natural extension of the lore laid out by Lewis Carroll. And then there's Doom, probably the greatest example of when music elevates a game. Doom's music is like if I asked Mozart to musically express what a power fantasy would sound like. Ever since the first game, At Doom's Gate already exemplified not only the sounds of something straight out of a Metallica album, but also laid the groundwork for Doom's rawness and bolstering energy in its overall musical themes that perfectly parallel its unique level design. Doom's music is so filled with testosterone, it would probably make you grow another penis. This cannot be further from the truth than Doom Eternal and Doom 2016. Mick Gordon's hardcore electric guitar riffs, bass boosted and turned up to 11, give off motifs of a chainsaw revving its engine and soaring through demon flesh, grinding through hordes like knife through butter. It's the sound of destruction. Its mere inclusion is vital to the experience of Doom itself. It completes what the gameplay has already fine-tuned. In a world run over by demonic creatures, with humanity's only hope laying in the hands of this hulking force of anger, lead, and armor. Yeah, it's expected that this guy's musical theme is going to sound like this.